What's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Lead From Here podcast. I am Jason. Today we're talking about the final installment of trust. It's not the final installment, but final installment for this little section of trust. And that's kind of how to rebuild trust. And this builds off of, again, a bunch of emails I got, but now you're at a point where ultimately you're sure you had the trust, you had a good spot, you were in a good situation, you had built trust, and something happened to break that trust. Whether that was you, or a market downturn and layoffs, or somebody got fired, or somebody got reassigned, or something happened, and it happens. It's part of business, and there's no way to avoid it in most situations, especially if you're at a larger company. It's just kind of part of the nature of business. It's the cycle that at some point you're going to hit a rough spot, and something's going to happen that's going to cause that trust to go away. And when that happens, it's important for you to understand that you're now the target. Right? Even if you had nothing to do with the layoffs or the firing or the change in structure or the change in management or the change in anything, even if you had no control of it, it's your responsibility to take ownership. And it feels harsh. It feels like something where you're like, I also had to go through that. Like, I also had to go through this layoff, or I also had to go through this restructure, and I also had to do whatever, pay cuts, and whatever happened that breaks the trust. I also had to go through that. Very rarely does a direct team leader have something to do with that. I understand that. But you are, for your team, the go-between between the people that are making those big decisions that are not easy and not something that I would wish on anybody. But you are the go-between. So they're coming to you to let you know how frustrated they are, how much it hurt, how they're not happy. And you're going to have to take all that. That's your job now, is to become a sounding board, to listen. Just listen. Show them empathy, be kind, give them space to be frustrated and vulnerable. Definitely keep boundaries, right? They can't be inappropriately mean. Like, it's okay to be frustrated, it's okay to be mad, but there's definitely a level and a line, and make sure you hold people to that. But outside of that, it's up to you to just take it and kind of go with it. There's going to be a lot of frustration and blame and finger pointing and just hurt. There's going to be a lot of hurt. There is, anytime trust is broken, anytime anything happens in a company that's major that impacts a lot of people, trust is broken. There is a grief period of that loss of those people. Even if that person didn't leave, the loss of trust they're grieving, the loss of the people that maybe they were close with, maybe they weren't, but it's just the loss of jobs. There's a grief period in that, and that can vary from person to person based on their own history and background and all that. So it's important for you to just be there. From there, it's really just going back to the previous two videos. It's really just looking at what can you do to build trust again. And that's leading by example, doing what you say you're going to do, asking how you can help. Just be there, be supportive, and mostly be patient. Patient is the number one characteristic in leadership, and especially when you're going through something as painful as some of the things you can go through in the larger scale of an organization. So that's your job, is to be patient. Hold them, set the boundaries, hold them to those boundaries. Help them find a way back to happiness. Don't just let them commiserate in it and be in it forever. Like, let them have an amount of time, and it will be different from every person. It's up to you to kind of understand that and kind of start driving them towards more positive thinking and more positive response to the situation at some point. And again, when you're doing that, you're not coming from hey, I'm telling you to do this. It's helping them find their way through showing them resources, by leading by example and talking about your own frustrations and own vulnerabilities in the situation, because it's impactful to you too. So just remember all those things, and remember to be patient. And as long as you do that, and as long as you look out for your team and have your team's best interest at heart, you will find your way back to trust, even after trust has been broken. It's a hard path. It's a slow path. Be patient. It's going to take time. That's just all it is. It's time. Time and action. That's how you deal with trust. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, please hit me up. Jason at leadfromhere.co. Like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. I would appreciate it. Happy Friday. Hope everybody has a great weekend, and I hope everybody enjoyed Trust Week. Take care.